And welcome back. Sitting here now, we are joined with a good friend and great fisherman, Mark Cowart. Mark.
Good morning, William, Bill,
and
Mayor. Good
congratulations.
Yeah, you know, Michael and I, we finished second this last week at the IFA Redfish Tour event in Houma, Louisiana. Had a great week. You know, you kind of love it when a game plan comes together. It almost came all the way together. But we fell just a few ounces short, 7 ounces short of winning it. So.
And how many pounds?
We had 17.54 pounds, 2 redfish that measure. And the winners, who I will say congratulations to Trevor Taylor and Steve Ward, they're Panama City guys as well.
Right.
And they had 1803, I believe. So.
Wow.
And 2 fish.
2 fish.
That is some fat redfish.
Oh my gosh, they're footballs. And you know, and the thing was for us is that with Michael, you know, everybody watching the show knows who Michael is.
The brains of the outfit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know, to get to do this now with Michael, we've been doing it since 2012 together. And every year you learn more, and you get, you know, you start to connect dots. You know, you have so much that you believe to be how it needs to be, that you focus sometimes on the things, you major in the minors instead of majoring in the majors. Mm-hmm. So we've really kind of, is gone on, we started to connect more dots, so to speak, where we're starting to see what it takes to drive to get these bigger, heavier fish that are in the slot limit. And
a lot, you're there, you see a lot of these fish.
Yes,
right?
You know, we're sight fishing from a 5-foot tower that stands up on the front of the boat. Michael and I are side by side, and over there, though, the water wasn't very clear. So, you know, you can get parts of, let's say, Hopedale or Delacroix, and you can find very clear water at times where you can see a fish from 15 yards away. It just sits on top, it just glows like a pumpkin. We call it when you're in the pumpkin patch, just like there is everywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, then you get in areas like we were this week where the water's dingy. You know, in Louisiana, they're doing a lot of diversions where they're trying to put more fresh water into the marsh, which brings silt back into the marsh, which starts to rebuild the ground back, I guess. So it's bringing that muddy brown water down. So, you know, this week we looked for clear water early, realized that the clear water didn't hold the biggest fish, so we went to the little bit more stained water, and where it's a lot tougher to fish, you don't catch quite as many fish. But on tournament morning, we ended up in the rain and the thunderstorm. It was lightning all around, just pouring down rain, the wind blowing. So I had to blind cast because Michael, being younger, he obviously can see better than I can. So Michael was sight fishing, I was blind casting, and within 10 or 15 minutes, I had a little over 6-pounder and a little over 8-pounder in the boat. Which anywhere in Florida, you're thinking, okay, we just won this thing.
Yeah.
Over there, you're thinking, okay, we're in the top 30. And
how many boats?
101. 101.
Wow.
101.
Came in second.
Came in second.
That's fantastic.
So you know, so for us, as the day went on, it was really one of those situations that we fished the areas we had in this one big lake we were in. We ran across to another side of the lake to a short bank, maybe 20 yards long. That's all it was. It had fish on it all week. And, you know, I'm still blind casting. The water's not real clear. And there's a lot of carp over there. That shows you how much fresh water's getting dumped in.
Yeah.
The carp in the water moving can look like a redfish because they got big shoulders as well. Mm-hmm. So I throw out and throwing a 13 fishing concept C, a bait caster with a 1/2 ounce spoon with 50-pound braid, and I still throw it, you know, 30 yards. So
with 50-pound
braid. So I'm throwing that thing, and you know, and throwing it. And as soon as I make this long cast, all of a sudden this hump comes up, and these fish push. And when these fish push, it's like a torpedo in the water. You and I've seen it before. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this that comes cruising across. You've seen it, Mayor. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a broad wake in front. When mullet do it, there's a narrow wake. When redfish is kind of like a push wake out in front. And so I told Michael, I said, hey, there's a push right there. Well, I'm still 15 yards from it, but they're kind of coming at an angle that my line's going to intersect with it. Michael flips out. He's throwing a Z-Man turbo craws, throws it out, lets it flutter down, twitches it a couple times, and the one on our right hits. Right at that time, the second fish kind of disappears, and then it pops back up just not 10 maybe 15 feet in front of the boat. I reel in as fast as I can with that spoon and drop it down. He hooks up. Those are the 2 fish we took to the scales. We caught them at the same time.
Caught him within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, same time.
Yeah, we caught. He was hooked up, then I hooked up. So he's fighting one fish on one side of the boat, and I'm fighting fish on. And I'm old and fat, and I'm up on 5 feet up on this tower. I got to climb down with this fish. You got to hang onto your rod, and I'm not trying to kill myself, and I don't want to lose this fish. So, I get down, I get my fish netted in the boat, and then I'm trying to get mine untangled because I am actually throwing a spoon at this time. And he, that spoon's in the net. I'm trying to get it loose to get Michael's fish. We finally get Michael's fish in the boat. We're looking at them. They're like footballs. And we're thinking, okay, these are not going to measure. And both of those fish were just over 26 inches.
And
Michael's
that heavy.
Oh, yeah. Michael's was over 9 and mine was right at 8.5.
Which is something we do. But when one of you hooks up,
yeah,
you need to pay attention.
Yeah, that's right, because those fish typically are going to be swimming in pairs or 3 or 4s, and and the bigger redfish don't typically stay in real tight schools. The fish that are in the schools are typically the mid to upper mid range size, but those bigger fish are going to be in 1s and 2s, 3s and 4s. And it was great, when we knew that we were in really good position at that point. We felt like we had at least 17 pounds because you're doing it on a boga grip. And we had to call we had to get that other 8-pounder out of the live well. The 6 went right away, and then the other 8 had to come out. You can't have more than 2 fish in a live well at any one time. So now we're struggling. We got 2 big fish in the boat, trying to get rid of these other ones out of the boat. And we do use coal balls, and we make sure they're not through the lip. They're the ones that slide down. TH Marine sells them. They slide down and they kind of clip to the lip. The bass guys use them.
Yeah.
So it helps you grab one out, and you can dial the weight up on it, so you're getting the right one. And so it made it. It was exciting.
Yeah, and if you're confused about this, you can call in a tournament.
Yeah, Louisiana has a 5 redfish per person limit, so you don't need a permit. In Florida, you have to have a permit to cull a fish.
Right, and the only way you're going to get it is in a tournament.
In a tournament that has at least 50
and you run
anglers.
tournaments that have been for a couple of years, so. Yeah, you as a recreational fisherman now, culling is not. If you put him in that
a fish
box,
in a live well, he's going home with you.
He needs to stay in there, and that's what.
Well, you can release that fish to go.
Yeah.
You can't release that fish to replace that fish.
Exactly. You can decide to turn them loose, which is the right thing to do.
Don't eat redfish.
So never eat redfish. So anyway, our water's. A lot of rain, starting to get a little bit darker, so when we come back, we're going to talk about what you can do to fish this water and catch fish. Hey, welcome back. Once again, the stuff we talk about in the commercials is hilarious. But all right, so there's been, you don't have to be a genius to figure out there's been a lot of rain here. There continues to be all these storms. This water's getting dirty. We're in pretty good tide patterns right now. And, these guys fish, a lot. And so what do you do when water gets dirty?
Well, he's going to talk about some of the things he throws. A lot of people don't realize, they say, well, the water's so stained, I can't throw a top order bait. They're not going to see it.
They're feeding off sound.
And that is absolutely, it's, to me, better when the water's stained, as long as there's not a lot of stuff floating on top of the water, because when you throw it out, you got the action of it moving back and forth and the sound and the rattle, and it's harder for the fish, I think, to determine whether or not it's fake or is it real. So I have caught many redfish and trout when this water's dirty, and especially in the real skinny water when you got the tide moving. It's, for us, has been terrific.
We fish a lot of those skitter walks, and they have some pretty good sized rattles in them, so they make a lot of noise. And early and late, when some of this solar effect wind hasn't taken place yet, you work that thing, it's like ringing the dinner bell.
It is, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Another thing that, again, a spoon is one of the most ideal redfish baits there are. And, you'll see most people throw a gold spoon, when the water's clear. When the water dirties up, you want to throw a copper spoon.
Yep.
You know, you kind of go to the color of the water just a little bit because the bait takes that hue on as well. And a lot of people don't realize that darker color actually is a better silhouette to those fish. And we go up one size. This is a 1/4 ounce, this is a 1/2 ounce. And there's not a lot of size difference in it, it's just a little heavier spoon. And another thing we do is that when the water's clear here in the summer, you want to throw a white bait because everything these redfish are feeding on are just about white bait. So this is something that Michael, you know, Michael's a guide here, and he has been killing. Michael loves to artificial fish with his clients if he can. Most of these guys don't like to do that, and he loves to when he's got people that can. This is a Z-Man Streaks. It's a 3 3/4 inch little fluke tail, very light, very compact, not like a typical fluke. But he's got it paired on a Z-Man or an I-Strike finesse trout eye jig. It's a 1/0, but it's a super strong hook. It's a 2X hook. It's a 1/0, and these fish have been destroying this when this water cleans up. They will chase it down.
What's the weight of that?
That's an 1/8 ounce.
1/8, okay.
Well, it's that on there with everything together is about an 1/8 of an ounce. Right. It throws a mile, and I'm going to tell you one of the things that we've really discovered, in tournament fishing, you start to try to get every edge you can. This is a great bait. This is a great head to throw when it's this time of year, especially with all the heavy grass. Because you want to still fish around the white sand holes along the edges and cover the edge, but you got to bring that bait out of the grass. You kind of want to rip it into the hole and let it stop and flutter down. This is a 3-inch minnows. This is a color that's a perfect for muddy water. It is the watermelon chartreuse tail, or anything motor oil colored is great when the water's dirty. This jig head is excellent. It is absolutely just about 100% weedless. The line ties on here. It's a straight edge there, and it rolls off there. It rarely catches any grass. Michael and I designed this jig head in conjunction with I-Strike Fishing. Now, Z-Man's picked it up. You can buy it at Bass Pros, Academies, Dick's. Everybody's carrying them. It's a hot bait. It's a very narrow profile, which makes it even swim harder. So one of the things, though, that we've really been learning over the last 3 or 4 years is that no matter where you are, if you are having the blind cast, which we do here for redfish all the time, you need to get as much distance, your bait as far from the boat as you can.
Correct.
We discovered this line. This is Grand Slam. It's high seas, Grand Slam, and they'll tell you something. It's 10-pound braid. It is just as strong as any of the competitors. It's just as strong as Power Pro, a little stronger than the same 10-pound spider wire. And what it does is how these people make this line is that when they're blending the braid and doing all the wrapping, they stretch it under pressure to get it to be a little tighter. So therefore the line is thinner. It's an excellent bait. Here we can throw a 1/4 ounce spoon over 60 yards on a 7.2 medium action Omen Green rod with a 2000 size reel.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to start matching the plug or the lure that you're fishing with to your tackle.
That's exactly
to
right.
it, with the right rod,
That's
the
right.
right tip, and you'll see us with 4 or 5 rods on there a piece. There's a reason for that. We're throwing something different with
That's
each
right.
one.
That's right. You want to almost throw a little heavier braid with, let's say 10 pound. Let's say if you're throwing a heavy top water, you might want to throw 15 pound. But guys, I'm telling you, the fishing's good right now. You got to get out and go.
What leader do you throw?
And we got to go. Listen, we could talk about this for 2 hours, but the deal is get out there and go after them, fish dirty water, clean water, whatever you got. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.